The idea of a golden age assumes a peak, and a peak implies there was a decline. That framing suggests quality faded when it did not. What changed was structure. Most people remember earlier eras as better because they felt smaller. Smaller environments concentrate attention. Concentrated attention creates perceived importance. That perception later becomes nostalgia. Nostalgia does not describe conditions, it describes contrast. Earlier eras were not stable, they were constrained. Opportunity existed, access did not. In the earlier competitive years, progress depended on geography, not discipline, not decision making. Location determined exposure. Arcades did not disappear in the 1990s. They persisted through the 2000s. Some survived into the 2010s. What disappeared was distribution. Scenes narrowed, California retained density, New York maintained continuity, parts of Texas sustained activity. Select regions in Illinois developed pockets. Some Midwestern cities had brief windows, and Detroit supported scenes up to a point. Most regions had nothing. For many players, arcades were theoretical. Knowledge arrived late, practice arrived later, hierarchy formed early. That hierarchy appeared permanent, and it was not. It was protected by access. Games often existed in arcades before home release. Certain players touched systems months earlier, sometimes years earlier. Tekken illustrates this clearly. Arcade versions differ substantially. Mechanics evolved before public availability. Balance shifted. Systems matured. Those changes mattered. Players adapted in isolation. By the time games reached consoles, meta knowledge already existed. Everyone else entered behind. Catch up became expected. International regions amplified this effect. Japan retained dense arcade ecosystems. Korea preserved competitive infrastructure. Certain European hubs sustained continuity. Their players trained under conditions unavailable elsewhere. So when they traveled, the gap felt overwhelming. That gap was not talent, it was accumulation. Exposure compounds, repetition compounds, iteration compounds. Earlier eras required travel, not optionally, structurally. To improve, players had to leave their home. Travel demanded money, it demanded time. Loss was expensive. Learning carried friction. Arcade play charged per game. Every match had costed. Volume depended on resources, not motivation. Information was not freely shared. Strategy circulated selectively. Knowledge protected position. Gatekeeping preserved hierarchy. Silence maintained advantage. That environment rewarded secrecy. It also rewarded endurance. Difficulty existed. Much of it was artificial. Online play began evolving in the mid 2000s. Early implementations were unstable, latency distorted outcomes, practice failed to translate, consistency was unreliable, progress continued through the 2010s, but incremental improvements followed. Rollback netcode changed the structure. Location stopped being leveraged, repetition became available, exposure normalized, high level practice became possible without relocation, online tournaments became viable, and not replacements, extensions. Travel shifted from requirement to choice. That altered development timelines. Learning accelerated, correction accelerated, feedback loops tightened. This did not reduce difficulty, it removed insulation. When access equalizes, discipline replaces privilege. When information spreads, execution becomes visible. When opportunity broadens, inconsistency surfaces faster. Scarcity flatters identity. Abundance tested. Earlier eras validated effort through presence. Modern eras validate effort through output. Output requires consistency, and consistency is harder to fake. Modern systems compress skill gaps quickly. Strong structures reveal weakness sooner. Mistakes feel larger, not because they are, because they persist. Visibility changes perception. Every decision leaves evidence. Authority expires without maintenance. Legacy decays without reinforcement. This did not happen before. Errors vanish with memory. Now they accumulate. Skill expression changed form. Earlier systems reward discovery. Modern systems reward refinement. Knowing something first mattered, applying something longer matters now. Execution windows narrowed, decision density increased, match volume increased, pressure became continuous. Modern competition demands regulation, mental stability, emotional containment, sustained clarity. Practice and symmetry still exists. Access equalized, discipline did not. Some players practice deliberately, others consume information passively. Structure rewards the former, the latter externalized. Equal opportunity does not equal outcome. Cheese persists, shortcuts persist, exploitation persists, but strong players still adapt, and weak players still stay stagnant. The difference now is speed. Modern systems punish stagnation quickly, authority decays faster, relevance expires sooner, participation increased, visibility diluted. Being good is no longer rare. Being consistent is. This reframes identity. Earlier eras allow insulation. Modern eras remove it. Performance persists. Decisions compound. Reputation updates continuously. Narrative shift under pressure. Some claim money never mattered, and that position survives during success. Results clarify motivation. Competition rewards outcome. Intent carries no weight. External validation distracts ecosystems. Approval from outsiders lacks context. Legitimacy built on attention erodes. Strong scenes define value internally. Infrastructure scale with participation, events expanded, venues grew, expectations formalized, contracts replaced handshakes, staff replaced volunteers, liability replaced assumption, cost followed scale. People remember the cheaper entry, but they forget smaller rooms, they forget fewer attendees. Growth did not erase culture, it organized it. Prize pools changed incentives, tours introduced consequence, upside became tangible, winning alters trajectory. Creation sustains presence, contribution compounds influence. These paths existed before, they now operate as systems. That unsettles memory. Some prefer obscurity not because it was pure, because it was forgiving. Modern competition removes hiding places. Performance persists, decisions accumulate, authority must be maintained. Spectators misread density as decline. They see fewer events, they ignore the scale, they ignore the reach, and they ignore the infrastructure. Loss feels louder than growth because growth distributes quietly. Romance thrives in limitation, and reality thrives in structure. The scene did not lose its soul, it lost its insulation. Maturity places myth with process, process replaces identity with output, output demands value, value through performance, value through insight, and value through contribution. That requirement never changed, visibility did. The fighting game scene did not get worse, it matured. Growth feels like loss to those who stopped adapting.